A very good afternoon to everyone. I am as Divishri, third year student of DME Media School. Welcome you all to the Vibrant India series, episode 52. I also welcome all our viewers who are watching us live on Facebook. Vibrant India series is an initiative of DME Media School for celebrating 75 years of India's independence. This series will be an year-long exercise. As a part of the series, we invite inspiring personalities for online talk, interview, and interaction with our students. The invited personalities for this series are from all walks of life and from all parts of the country. And today, our special guest, Dr. Professor Meenu Walia, Senior Director, Head of Department, Medical Oncology, Clinical Cancer Care, Max Institute of Cancer Care, Max Healthcare. I would like to take a moment and introduce Delhi Metropolitan Education to our viewers. Delhi Metropolitan Education, DME, is an A-grade premier educational institute affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi, and approved by the Bar Council of India. The institute offers BBA, BALLB, and BBLLB and BGMC programs. DME believes in imparting world-class education to its students while training them to develop and enhance their skills. This education and training enables them in taking up challenges of the industry and creating a space for themselves with their competence and vigor. DME Media School is one of the most promising media institutes in the country. It offers BA in journalism and mass communication. It is recognized as a school focused on the growth of its faculty and students through academic and co-curricular activities. Major flagship events and initiatives of the school include BJ Varghese Lecture Series, Peer-to-Peer FDP, International Film Festival SIFI, International Conference ICANN, and Vritika Convention of Media Students, and newly added in the list is VIS Vibrant India Series. Now I would like to invite it's a privilege to introduce to you to the personality of the episode 52 of the VIS. Dr. Meenu Walia is a renowned cancer specialist with almost 30 years of experience in treating cancer patients. She is the first DNB medical oncologist of India. Currently, she spearheads the Department of Medical Oncology and Hematology at Max Super Speciality Hospital, Patparganj, Vaishali, and Noida. Dr. Walia has been decorated with various awards, namely Bharat Jyoti Award and Medical Excellence Awards by the Indian Medical Association multiple times. She was awarded Inspiring Healthcare Leaders Dronacharya Award by the Honorable Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, Shri Ashwini Kumar Chaudhary. Dr. Meenu Walia was conferred the Certificate of Excellence at National Healthcare Conclave by late Shri Anand Kumar, former Union Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. She was felicitated by the legendary Indian cricket Mr. Sunil Gavaskar at the 6th International Healthcare Awards at Mumbai. Dr. Walia featured in Women of Wonder campaign by Radio Amity and Amity School of Communications. She has been felicitated with the Most Influential Women of 2021 award by Srimati Meenakshi Lekhi, Minister of State for External Affairs and National Spokesperson, BJP. Dr. Meenu Walia won the Nari Astitva Award 2021, a glorious honor for exemplary women of India by GSIL Educational Society's philanthropic initiative Neki Kira. She has been awarded Lifetime Achievement Award under category Crown Global Awards 2021 from LA Global Foundation. Dr. Walia featured amongst the 9 successful women by Outlook magazine in the edition titled Stories of Women Remodeling the World's Landscape. And also she featured in a book titled Luminaries in Healthcare by India Today. She is a keen cancer researcher and is the principal investigator of various international clinical research trials. Dr. Walia is the author of a hugely popular book among cancer patients, Tips for Happiness in the Shadow of Cancer. And she is also a TEDx speaker. I now request the technical team to show some glimpses from her life. you, ma'am, for joining us today. It is indeed an honor to host you. I now request Dr. Susmita Bala, Head DMA Media School, to welcome the guest.
Thank you, Divyashree. Welcome everybody to episode 52 of Vibrant India series. We launched this digital program in 2021 on August 9 on the anniversary of Quit India movement. And we presented episode 51 of this program this year on August 15th when India celebrated 76th Independence Day. Vibrant India series is an initiative of DMA Media School, Delhi Metropolitan Education. It is an online series to get inspiration from distinguished personalities. This program has been conceptualized and created by Professor Ambrish Saxena. Vibrant India series is a tribute to all those people who have made supreme sacrifices for the independence of our motherland. This program is a part of Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, a celebration on India completing 75 years of independence. Let us have a look at the eminent personalities who have graced the VIS during the last 1 year. 8 personalities from the defense forces have participated in VIS till date. These personalities belong to the Indian Army, Air Force, and BSF. 5 personalities from the education sector, comprising education planning, teaching, and research, have participated in VIS. 4 personalities from the journalism, broadcasting, and entertainment sector have joined the VIS, 2 senior journalists, 1 personality from entertainment and animation industry, and 1 as commentator. From the social sector, 7 personalities, including 6 women, have participated in VIS. Dr. Monisha Behel, a medical doctor, Dr. Midula Tandon, as educationalist Dr. Mridula Seth, Ms. Tripti S. Tingle, an entrepreneur, Dr. Vibhala Kira, a social activist, Bhavrin Kanhari, an environmental activist, and also a Padma Shri Jitendra Singh Shanti, the founder of Bhagat Singh Seva Dal and Corona Warrior, participated in VIS. 7 personalities belong to art, theatre, and literature participated. 2 personalities from the field of law and human rights have graced the VIS sessions. 3 police officers have also participated in VIS. 3 senior IAS officers have also graced the VIS. From the other fields, Mr. S.P. Rawal, Mr. Augustine Valeth, Sufi Sayyid Azmal Nizami, Mr. Balindu Sharma Dadhichi, Mr. Satish Saxena have also participated in VIS. Today, in episode 52, we have with us a doctor, cancer coach, and guide to motivate and help to those people who are suffering from cancer. She is none other than Dr. Meenu Walia, renowned personality. Welcome, ma'am, in VIS. Welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Now I thank you for listing out the galaxy of experts we have hosted till now in VIS. I now request Dr. Amrit Saxena, Dean DMA Media School and originator and ideator of VIS, to take the program forward.
Thank you, Divyashree. So indeed, it's a matter of honor that today Dr. Meenu Walia with us. And since everybody has been told about this program. This program we have conceived differently, and the whole idea behind is to bring to the fore all such personalities who have made a difference in our lives and who have created this society a better place to live in. And that is how we try to reach out and to request to all such personalities who might be working in different fields, but their contribution is immense. And that has mattered a lot for each one of us in our lives. As far as the different segments of this program is concerned, this whole program is divided into 4 segments. After the first segment, I will request you, Dr. Walia, to please narrate your own life journey to us and why this idea is there. Because when I talk to so many people, people shy away in telling their own story. But the whole idea behind this is that if something is coming from the horse's mouth, it is more authentic, more reliable, and it is more acceptable. And again, since this is an educational institution and audience here is comprising the students only who need some kind of motivation to do something, whatever they want to do in any part of the media, which they will be doing after completing this BJMC. So they should get some path, some direction, some motivation, and also this determination that even if there are problems in life, how they can come out with those problems and how they can move forward in life and can work for themselves and for the growth of the society. So that is how. So second segment will be. And third segment, I will be asking you certain questions which will be followed by in the last segment certain queries, certain questions from the students, since this is a program for the students. So they are allowed, the whole platform is open to the students so that they can interact with the guest on a one-to-one mode. That is all about this program. So without delaying it further, I hand over the rein to you, Dr. Walia, and I'll request you to please take the program forward from here, and you can take about 15-20 minutes in narrating your own life journey so that we can have something, some takeaways, some motivational things from you directly. Thank you. And Dr. Walia, it's yours now.
Good afternoon, all. And before I begin, I must thank the DME, Dr. Ambrish, Dr. Sushma, all the honorable faculties and the students for this opportunity. And first of all, I must compliment you for such an amazing idea and such an amazing series, Vibrant India. I mean, indeed, very motivating. And I would love to listen to all the sessions, the prior and the sessions after, so that we to remain motivated all through my life. And indeed, it is both an honor as well as I'm both honored and humbled for me to be a part of this series and to be invited to talk about my story. So, needless, I am a medical oncologist working as senior director and spearheading the Department of Medical Oncology Hematology at present at Max Institute, Max Super Specialty Hospitals, Max Institute of Cancer Care. So, if you ask me why I became a doctor, or did I always wanted to become a doctor, then probably the answer is I don't know. So I was, as far as a student, my student days were concerned, I was a very rather say meticulous student, very hardworking and very. I mean, it was more about whatever the parents expect, whatever the teachers expect. I mean, do it very thoroughly. So yes, I do feel that medicine is not a profession. Medicine is more of a sacred calling, and there is nothing more gratifying or more humbling for a human being than trying to give health to men, trying to help others, trying to make somebody live longer. So that is what I would say. But why I chose up to become a doctor, then I would always say that I had very humble beginnings. Both my parents had actually lost their family during the partition time, and they have had very hard times at that point of time. And my only concern as a child was always that I should always be, I should bring pride to them. I mean, I always wanted to do something in my life that my parents, at least, they should be proud of their daughter whenever, wherever they look at me, they should be proud of me. And both my parents rather wanted me to be a doctor, especially my mother, because she always felt that I have a very healing hand. That is what she used to say. Whenever you touch somebody, it feels like that you have that healing hand. So she wanted me to be a doctor. Both my parents wanted me to be a doctor, and that is probably the reason. Rather, that was the only reason I thought of pursuing MBBS as a career in the initially. But that was my journey that began towards becoming a doctor. I was fortunate to complete my MBBS way back in the 90s from the prestigious Maulana Azad Medical College. And thereafter, I went in to do my MD in medicine. And later, I started with senior residency again in Delhi in Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital. But how come I entered into oncology? So that is an entirely different story altogether. So I was quite satisfied with my life when I was working as a physician at Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital. And that is the time when I got married also. But I feel that fate had much larger plans or much more different plans in store for me. And at the time of my marriage, my mother in law happened to be a cancer patient. And as fate would have it, later my mother too became a victim of this disease. So, what I always say is, I have seen the disease from both sides of the table. So, that was my first encounter with the disease. And I was a witness from close quarters of the mental, emotional, uh, and the physical trauma that is undergone not only by the cancer patient but by also by the close family members, by the loved and near and dear ones. Rather, I feel that the trauma, the emotional and the other trauma which they go, is in no less than the patient themselves. Apart from the drain on finances and what all the family goes through. So, and also at that point of time, Delhi hardly had the oncology services in Delhi were very limited. There were not too many hospitals. There are not too many dedicated oncologists or oncologists of repute, I would say. And we also, as a family, we had to rush for each and everything to Mumbai all the way. And plus, that was the point when I and my husband, rather it was a joint decision, I had to discuss with him, and we discussed at that point of time. And then he was also one important factor who motivated me that yes, we need to. I mean, this is a place where there is a big gap, there is a lacuna. And even as a physician, when I felt that I was not able to handle completely my own family members, so this is a place, there is a dearth of oncologists. So this is something that we need to dedicate our lives to, and that was the reason that I thought of pursuing oncology further as a career. And I joined DNB Medical Oncology and happened to become the first DNB medical oncologist of the country. And there is how started the story of my life as a cancer doctor or as a cancer specialist. So there were also points at that point of time that there were times when people would tell me that why I have taken oncology, and especially when I had taken oncology, there were some of my friends which would tease me also. Okay, had you taken like gynae and obs and some other lines where they are happy endings. Rather, you come back home with few good memories and this thing, and why of all the things, oncology has been taken by you. And oncology, we all knew, even at that point of time, we all thought that it is a very pessimistic line, and where you will be looking at so many tragedies of life, so many mysteries of life. And it is not only that the patient, but the attendants, the family members also. I mean, it is something real trauma that happens to anybody, and the family, the entire family going through this process is not easy. So everybody thought that with pursuing oncology, you would probably be coming back home every day more depressed, and then looking at the futility of entire life. So that was what it was like, thought of, commented upon, and maybe at one point of time I also feared the same thing. But I would rather feel that in almost 30 years of my medical career today, uh, oncology has taught me a lot. Both medicine has also taught me a lot, but oncology per se has taught me a lot. I would have delivered a diagnosis of cancer to n number of patients and their families. I have also seen death at very close quarters. And I've also seen people, incredible power of the human spirit when they take on with this disease. And see, and I rather say, with this kind of a disease, when it comes in the family, na, you see the human beings at their basic, at their best, and even at their worst, the family relationships. So for everybody, we say that there is only one life, but I always say, yes, everyone has one life, but a cancer patient has two lives. For them, everything is before and after cancer, because cancer tests them, cancer brings them to the brain. And it is also at the same time, it tests their relationships. It also tests the strength of the family, the strength of the bonding of the family and the relationships. And it really tests them very hard. And that is why some of them emerge much more stronger, much more, I say, powerful after the disease. And that is what I feel is gives us the strength, gives us the courage, because day in and day out, we as doctors also learn from our own cancer patients how they have taken this disease in their stride, how the entire family stood together to fight the disease, and how they came out to be successful. If you say I'm a very successful, I mean, I'll say I was very honored and humbled that if you say I'm a very successful oncologist, then I would say, how do I define successes? Actually, the moments of success that define us are, I mean, a young girl treated by me at the age of 18, and when she comes back after years, after n number of years to your OPD with her husband and with a child of her own, that is what you feel, is you feel that all this hard work, all this toil has been worthwhile. So it is this what I say is success, when the family of a cancer patient comes back and say thanks for being there, because thanks for making a difference in our lives. And these are the moments which really you feel that the life has been worthwhile. And in today's date, I think my profession has become my passion. So you also asked me like, what is the recipe of this success? And I would say ki there is no shortcuts. So it has always been years and years of toil, hard work, and passion. To be honest, it has never been easy. After all, oncology is a very demanding area, and to pursue oncology as a career, it has not been an easy choice in the first place. And however, it has, like, once you decide, once it becomes your passion, then yes, people acknowledge you, because that is only then when you will try to give the best to your patients, giving the best to anybody who puts their trust in you. So there have been no shortcuts, there have been perseverance, hard work, passion, dedication for all these 3 decades. My day, my average day has always last for 14 to 16 hours daily for years altogether. I start my day early in the morning and it goes till late night. And and this is only possible because my profession has now become my passion. So if I take work as work, I don't think that anybody will be able to do the justice to whatever they do. So if somebody wants to be in this line, then they have to be very, very passionate about it. I'm very, very passionate about it, about the fact that how my patients, what I do for my patients, and what difference I'm making, what I'm going to make for them and for their life. And you also wanted me to give a message to the youth. And the only message I have for everybody is that I want all the students, all the youth out there, whoever are listening to me, is be passionate about whatever you do. I mean, I'll always say ki don't work, don't take work as work, because if you take work as work, it will only be your work. But if you make your passion as your work, so that is the only way to do justice to what we are passionate about. And it is, after all, it is only one life, and we all need to live our dreams, and if possible, make a difference in somebody's life. So that is what life is all about.
Thank you, Dr. Walia, for narrating your journey in such beautiful words, which all such motivating things, which are definitely motivating not only to the student but to us all, because whatever work we do in our own domain, we all wish to do some such kind of things which are for the larger good. And obviously, there can be no better profession than the medical profession, wherein you are actually giving lives to the people and reducing their pain and agony. So moving forward, I will request you if you can narrate one or two such stories, very specific, which could give us some understanding as to how you indulge into the treatment of a patient and what all experience that you get while you are handling that, if you can.
So I'll rather say, I mean, there are so many n number of stories that going through all these stories, I mean, actually shape your life. So what are the kind of stories that you are interested? You see, I already said, na, you see humanity as its best and as its worst also. You really see how relationships change when a disease like this comes in the family. So we have really seen the worst of humanity also in our line. So what kind of stories that you will want to listen to?
Obviously, the things which motivate. Yeah, all good
Other
stories.
the things that motivate, the things that motivate is basically, I mean, when we talk of a normal human being in our daily routine, what we do is we what are we bothered about, what are our concerns, I always tell my colleagues, our concerns are probably the workload was too much, probably the car broke down, that became a concern, there was a small accident, that became a concern, the maid did not turn up, that became a concern, and all these kind of teeny mini things that involve us daily. But look at our patients, look at people who are battling cancer. So if we have a sore throat, even if we have a viral fever, we feel that's end of the world. But people who are living with cancer, and in spite of that, they look forward to life. They start enjoying each and every moment of life, and how they take on this all these things in their stride. That is what is very inspiring. So we have one of the cancer patients who has had amputation of the limb, and imagine the person had a sarcoma, a bone tumor, an amputation of the limb, and the boy still does with an artificial limb. He doesn't sit back and doesn't, I mean, he's not cribbing all the time, and he's still taking part in marathons, he's still doing mountaineering, he's still running around. What can be more inspiring than that? So there are people who would have gone through this journey, and even after that they go on to become, they go on to take participate in, I mean, I have one of my patients, she went on to become Miss Delhi even after her cancer journey. So cancer, I mean, all we know of cancer and the cancer treatments, the color becomes darkened, you lose your hair. But it is all, you see some of these patients, in spite of losing their hair, the confidence with which they walk into the hospital, The confidence with which they walk on a stage and have the courage to talk in front of 10 people, and the confidence with which they pursue their hobbies even after that, is this is something that inspires, that how these people have really gone through the entire journey. And sometimes the family members also, some of the times you really see that, yes, how the bonds have strengthened during this journey, because definitely it is not easy. So again, I will come back to say, yes, you see the other side of the story also. You do see people whose relationships break during these tedious journeys. You do see people who really, I mean, cancer test them. Cancer is the real test of the time. And where you feel that everything, I mean, something which was so different is now so different. But yes, those kind of stories also come forward. But yes, they do not motivate us, but still, I guess, in some way, they tell us what life is all about. It does tell us that it is, I mean, it is not about a one simple exam. It is not about a test. It is not about one event. It is not about one. I mean, it is always better to look at life. It is much larger than what it is. So God has given us a chance. God has given us just one beautiful life that it is. Yes, when I'm all healthy, when I'm fit and fine, I may not be admiring the sunrise and the dewdrops on the plants, the जो बारिश के बाद वो मिट्टी की भीनी भीनी खुशबू, and all these things are so beautiful. But when I'm having a healthy life and everything is going normally, I do not have that time and do not admire all that. But somehow, if there is something that you feel that these might things may not be there, it is at that time you start living life. I mean, it is in the statement of one of our patients only. It was only after cancer that I actually started living life. Earlier than that, I was only existing. So when you start enjoying the what a blessed life this is, what God has given us. So these are all simple learning, simple things that what I feel the disease has taught. And when you see these people going through this journey, taking everything in the stride, then pursuing career. So I have one of my patients who is 75 plus. So 75 plus, many others would have had this disease, would have come back and said ki, oh, cancer ho gaya, ab to it is the end of the game and end of the life, and then probably chemo nahi karni, chemo se bahut problem hoegi. So this gentleman went through surgery, went through chemotherapy, completed the entire chemotherapy, is up and above, and after that, at this age, he is pursuing his PhD in Sanskrit. He's writing poems, he's pursuing, he's now he must be, I think, 77, 80. So I don't know the exact age, but I can use his name also. I mean, he would love to be his name, he's very open about this, Mr. Sulakchan Jain. And then imagine, I mean, going through this journey, and at that time and after this thing, what he does is he's pursuing Sanskrit as a PhD in present day, and still continues to motivate people. So these are the people that we learn from.
Yeah. So, Dr. Walia, in cancer, obviously, it's such a wide subject, and you have such an experience in this area. So, whatever you will tell us will be less. So, but then one thing definitely I would like to point out, since creating awareness is very important about cancer, and feeling that need, you have also written a book in this area. So, can you tell us something? What motivated you to write this book, and what all you have written in this book?
So exactly what I will say is what motivated me is these experiences only. So when you see, I see oncology patients, or when you see a patient at such close quarters, what they are going through, what the family must be thinking. I mean, imagine whenever I see a patient, imagine if I was sitting in her or his place, sitting on the other side of the table. Imagine being told that you have cancer. So it is a very simple thing, but not that easy. I mean, imagine on the other side of the table, the world comes to a halt. It is not only for the person, for the rest of the family also. So every time when you sit and when you talk with the patients, every time you feel how they have taken the news, what are the reactions and what are the different experiences, what they all go through. So there, again, I will come back to my earlier statement. You see humanity as at its best and at its worst also. And some of the times you have seen, literally seen it at its worst. Wife being diagnosed with cancer, and now being left with the family. So these things do happen. So it was all these kind of experiences. It was actually all these kind of experiences that made me write the book about the journey of a cancer patient, how the different patients have gone through it, how these people took this journey, and what are the different human perspectives. When we delay, why we are so afraid of this disease, why uh, why people behave the way they behave. So I have got no answers, but I've just tried to put the different patients, different people, and all the stories in my book are actual real stories of my patients whom I have seen in my clinical experience, on with their names changed, but what they went through and how they reacted and how they took the disease in this stride. So that is all the book is about, and that's it.
One more thing, final thing I would like to ask you, since this is a disease, I mean, in whichever way we put it, but obviously it's a serious thing if it happens. Now, and the way the numbers are growing, if we check the numbers, people suffering from this disease and all, and obviously there would have been a lot of researches being made as far as the treatment of cancer is concerned. So can you enlighten us on this? When will be the day when there will be a treatment for cancer, and the humanity will be saved from this kind of disease?
So I think you have made a very powerful statement, and I will make another statement by saying that there is treatment for cancer. Even now, there is treatment for cancer. So I keep on always telling my patients also. So if somebody has to die, na, people die of dengue also. People die of malaria also. So complicated malarias, dengue, and simple road accident. Somebody leaves the house in the morning absolutely fine, and you never know what happens. India, there are so many road traffic accident deaths in our country. So if death has to happen, death can happen. God doesn't need a disease like cancer only so that that happens. So what is important is how you take the disease and how you go through the treatment. And the trick in cancer only lies in the fact that the earlier you diagnose, the earlier stage it is, greater are the chances of cure. So definitely, because we as humans don't want to talk about something which is so pessimistic, something which we don't want to think about. So we, even like we Indians, I rather say, don't have that preventive health attitude. So in the Western world, where the preventive health attitude has come up in a big way, screening for cancer have come up in a big way. So it doesn't mean that cancer doesn't happen there. There are probably more numbers of cancer in the Western world than our country also. But majority of those cancers are picked up in an earlier stage. Here, majority of the cancers are picked up in a later stage. And it is not that the diagnostic facilities are not there. It is because we don't have that attitude of preventive health checkup. We don't have that mindset. And we really do not go and believe in getting ourselves screened. So, if we are aware about the disease, if we get ourselves screened, and if we can pick up this disease early, then it is there, and then the treatment can happen. And one is, and now treatments have actually evolved, treatments have changed. There are lot many treatments which are available. There are newer targeted therapies, immunotherapies, newer innovations in all the therapies, and many cancer patients are now living much longer than any time in the past. And yes, hopefully, in the near future, we will have more answers. For example, now you have a vaccine for cancer, cervical cancer. So who could have actually thought of that you will have a vaccine and you could prevent almost more than 99% of cervical cancer. So tomorrow, with the as technology evolves, you may have vaccine for other cancers also. But definitely, What is required, what is the need of the hour is be aware of the disease, believe in preventive health checkup, believe in screening tests, and then don't give on hope. I can vouch from my own clinical experience. I have seen patients, even with stage 4 cancer patients, who have lived on for years altogether. So, what I feel is hope is a very, very powerful thing. So, what is written is yes, it is destined, it is pre written, but then if you are hopeful, things can change, things can really happen your way.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Meenu Walia, for giving us all this information, which is really, I believe, for each one of us who are there in this session, is something which is completely new because, as you said, there's a very little awareness overall on the health front, and also about cancer, we know a little. Now, moving forward in the last segment of this program, I will request the students who want to ask questions, please come on camera and ask your questions. And before the students join, we have Saima Parvez also with us. So, Saima, if you can take it forward, you have
Sure,
something to ask.
sure, sir. So it was always a pleasure listening to ma'am. It has always been a pleasure. And to everybody, I'm adopted child of ma'am. So I'm her adopted daughter. For the world to know now on a broader platform, I can make this announcement. So I'm very happy to make this announcement. And apart from this, ma'am, like since now, right now, we have a lot of youth who is connected with us. So I would like you to tell them about how cancer patient is not just a patient. There is more associated to that person. How would a cancer affect his quality of life? What is quality of life? Nobody understands it. So you as an oncologist, how would you define quality of life for a cancer patient, and how important is having a good quality of life for anybody, in fact, but especially when we talk in perspective of a cancer patient?
So I'm glad, Saima, you asked this question. This is something that everybody needs to, I guess, understand and acknowledge. So, in other words, most of us just exist, not many of us live. So, quality of life is something which is important not only for a cancer patient. Quality of life is important for each one of us, everybody, even those who feel that they don't have cancer or they are leading an absolutely normal life. So, are we pursuing our dreams? Are we passionate about what we are working? Or is it just a 9 to 5 job that we do and we are just existing? That is what I will say from a perspective of a common man. But when it comes to cancer patient or any other chronic disease, it is also important that what is the quality of life we are giving to that patient. So, unfortunately, sometimes the cancer tests can be very, very painful. The cancer disease can be very, very painful. The treatments also can have their own set of side effects, both the disease and the treatment. And plus, it is the long, tedious journey. It requires a lot of patience, lot of positivity, a lot of strength, both for the patient as well as the family to go through this tedious journey, to make it easier for them, to make it less painful for them, to make it as painless as possible for them. It is not difficult. It can be managed. It is important that whenever we are treating patients, whenever we are treating anybody for the chronic disease, it is not only important that we add. It is not about adding just years to life. It is also important of about what life we are adding to the years. So I mean, tackling the disease both at the mental level, both at the physical level, it is very, very important. And in the words of one of my patients only, who recently made a comment, ki, I have realized that when I was detected to have this disease, so I went through all the name of the oncologist and this thing, because I realized that now my relationship with my oncologist is going to be a very long relationship. So the rest for my rest of my life, I am going to be. It is either going to be my husband or my oncologist, where we are going to have a long relationship. So it is very, very important that I have to be comfortable, and we both have to understand each other. So it is about making it painless. It is about making it easier. It is about making the life worthwhile. That is what I will say. That with whatever treatments, whatever things that can be done to increase, adding years to life and adding life to years is something which is very, very important for all of us.
Absolutely, ma'am. I feel adding happiness to your life is what quality of life means. That you're not just living, you're living happily, despite whatever the circumstances are. But you as an oncologist are making that life as easy, as comfortable, and as happy as possible. So that was a perfect reply from you. Apart from that, one another question that I have from one of the students is that you being an oncologist, how do you maintain your mental health, because constantly you're meeting people who are either talking about death or are on the verge of death, are crying, are depressing, are full of anxiety, are full of fears. How do you as a person, because after all you are an oncologist later but you are a human being first, how do you maintain your mental health and your happiness?
Again, I'm glad that Sarma you asked this question, because yes, I will admit on this platform it is not easy. Sometimes the dose of sadness, gloominess, and miseries become too much, and we all want to live in a very nice, beautiful world, whatever pseudo it might be. But we all want to have all those fairy dreams and those kind of dreams. But life is what life is, and I'll rather say yes, we all have our ways. So probably it does affect me, but it is something like what I see myself probably sitting on the other side of the table few decades back, in the same state, in the same agony, in the same this thing. So that is why probably the experiences make me more humble, probably tell me that this is what life is all about. And then, yes, this is not always the sad stories. There are a lot of positive stories also now. I mean, what can be more gratifying, as I told you, to have a child treated by you, and then years later, decades later, she comes back with her own child back to you. And I mean, this is something very heartwarming. And I'll tell you a recent episode from my OPD only. I mean, it was a morning OPD, and the lady just walked in, and I obviously, I mean, her name XYZ, I will not take the name. So I just said, yes, what is your problem? Very beautiful, fine young lady. Yes, क्या problem है, क्या तकलीफ है? And then she said, ma'am, आपने मुझे पहचाना नहीं. I said, nahi, I actually did not recognize. So do tell me. I mean, it took me some while, and then finally she said, ma'am, I am XYZ. I was treated by you way back. That is it. And when you see that grown up and this thing, I mean, there's nothing more gratifying. I don't think anything else would have given me more pleasure. Anything else in life, if I had done, it would have made my life easier. At least you have something. I mean, I feel at least you have something where you feel you are making a difference. So even if I listen to them, even if I talk to them, the least I can do for my patient is to understand what they want from me, what they want from an oncologist. So I really feel it makes a difference, and everything happens for a reason. And yes, sometimes to keep the sanity going and to keep myself motivated, it is not only I mean, I'll see my courageous and my wonderful patients who actually teach me how to live life. And yes, I meditate also. I meditate often.
Dr. Walia, you have been working so hard, as you said, for 16, 17 hours a day for years together for almost all your life. So in everybody, each one of us, in whichever profession, whichever career we are, we always try to move forward, to do something new, to do something more. So what are your plans? I mean, what are your thoughts with regard to the next level? What is your next level after whatever you have done?
So there is always a better to the best. There is always a next level, and yes, I'm very passionate about doing much more. So not just beyond treatment. I think we are already working. And I don't know how many of you are aware. I mean, SAIMA is a part of that endeavor, Saheli is a part of that endeavor. When we thought that it is not about just walking into a doctor's cabin and just writing treatment and that's the end of it, and the patient goes back home, how can we hold hands beyond it? What all we can do so that we make their lives better, make add value to their lives? What are the things that are never discussed in a doctor's cabin? And that is why we brought this entire group of Ashai, where we have this like-minded people, rather I will say the entire team has somebody close to them, something very close to them, who was lost to this disease or who had battled this disease. So, and these kind of like-minded people came together, and we have been successfully going further in that. So our series of Asha have become immensely popular, where we discuss basic things much more beyond cancer. My book was an endeavor in the same direction, and we have much more plans which are all there. And in the coming years, where I will probably want to do just beyond treatment, a lot more to be done, and again adding life uh, to the life of our patients. So whatever best we can do, we're thinking of so many initiatives are there, they are all there, and I'm sure that in the coming years it will all see the day of the light.
Thank you, Dr. Walia. Incidentally, I have been in few of your sessions of Ashai as a mere listener, and I have been listening to whatever great work that you are doing and Ashai is doing under your leadership. That's really, I mean, because there are so many doctors, but then you are a doctor with a difference, wherein you are also taking care of the people of the society beyond your call as a doctor, which is really appreciable. So if at the end of the session, if I'm asked to conclude the session, then the first and the foremost thing which clicked to my mind is because that I can relate also to which you said that my profession is my passion, because unless you pursue your profession as a passion, you cannot do justice to yourself, you cannot do justice to your client, to your patient, to your students. So that applies to each one of us. And then also, as you said, all through your journey, what you have seen is the incredible power of human beings. That power in a way vests in each one of us in whichever capacity we are performing our roles in the society. The only thing is we need to realize that that power is within, and that power is to be used to not only to your own growth, but for everybody. And as far as your stories that you showed with regard to whatever work you have done, and there's a lot more is to be done regarding the book you refer to, and also this Ashai, and I believe that there will be more such endeavors which will be there for the betterment of the society, and I believe with your efforts, this society will be a better place to live in. Thank you, Dr. Meenu Walia, to spare so much time with us, interact with us, and providing us with a lot of information. Thank you.
Thank you, DMA. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
The first impression that comes to our mind about any college: tall buildings, big classrooms, large lobby areas, thick books, IT labs, assignments, class tests, and projects. Nothing besides that. Every hour, minute, second spent here help us carving and shaping our persona, cultivating innovative mindsets for the challenging world. Learning is a lifelong process. Sharing knowledge, inculcating values of life, spark the innovative horizons of mind. Fun and frolic is the nature of every nook and corner here. A daily dose of thrill we are sure to get here.